Why is it that when we have something that we want to achieve and we know it's like, this is the thing, this is the person I want to be, why is that so freaking hard for us to do? I'm a great example of this right now. I've taken 20 takes of this video that I'm trying to make, right? Because this is the arena that I want to step into. I want to step into making videos, putting out ideas, thoughts, talking about energy, because I love energy. As the name Energy Escapades may insinuate, I think energy is a freaking adventure. All the time, every day, it's fun. I love it. I love figuring out the way that things work, and reality creation, and philosophical ideas, and energy practices, and things that, like, you can use and see actual results. I love that. That is my favorite thing to talk about. I could talk about it forever. But I'm trying to make this video, and I have stopped and started so many times. Why can't I just say it? So you know what? I'm just gonna say it. We're just gonna go. Here we go. Are you ready? If you're struggling with manifesting, here's why. You don't believe what you're trying to manifest. Ooh, we getting right into it, right? I skipped all the suspense. I don't care. We ain't suspended nothing right now. We just telling it how it is. Okay? If you aren't manifesting what you want to manifest, it's because you don't believe in what you're trying to manifest, and you don't believe that you can do it and that it's right for you. Now, you can tell yourself on a superficial level, like, no, I believe this. I believe this is possible for me. I can do it. I believe it. But you don't. Not really. Not if you really step back and look deep down inside. What do you really believe about this thing that you're trying to manifest? You know, whether it is money, a relationship, a new career, money. That's a big one, right? People want money. People want love. Other people have it. Why? It really all boils down to what you believe, to what you believe is possible. You believe that it's possible for you to get a pizza. You believe that it's possible for you to get a cup of coffee, $1, $50. You believe that these things are possible because they've happened to you in the past, right? But something like, say, finding the love of your life and getting married, or having a career that you love waking up and doing every day. You can imagine it, which is a start. But do you believe it? Like, deep down, like inside of you, do you believe that that can be a reality? Do you believe that you can find a partner that is worth your time and, like, your love, and can give that back to you in a reciprocal way that is worthy of being with this person for the rest of your life? Or do you believe, I deserve to go on some dates, you know, with some people that are going to turn out to be jerks and then they're going to ghost me? We can all say what we want to believe, right? We can all say, oh, I believe the good stuff, right? That sounds good. And the idea of, like, positive thinking, because you're supposed to be positive and you're supposed to just, you know, continuously say all this positive stuff and never think of the negative. I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't true. And we'll get into why that ain't true in another time. But it's not true. You don't have to be a positive, happy, fake positivity machine to get what you want in life. You don't have to say, oh, I believe that I believe that I'm worthy of $3 million when your bank account has $20 in it. Like, let's not lie. You don't believe that you're worth $3 million when you got $20 in the bank. Because if you did, you wouldn't have $20 in the bank. You'd have a lot more. So your external world is reflecting your internal beliefs. And it does it every time. And you will never get something that you can't really truly believe that you deserve that thing. You won't get it. It will not happen. No matter how much you want to say it, script it, visualize it. Now, you may get something similar to it, and that has happened to a couple people. So, like, you know, maybe say you won the lottery, but you don't really believe that you're worth the money that you received. What's going to happen to that money? It's going to go away. You're going to end up right back where you started. And that's, you know, broke, or just getting by, or, you know, just enough to be comfortable, because you haven't changed your belief. And so that's what you gotta learn how to do. Now, I will say that you can script, you can visualize, and you can affirm. The way that it works is it very, very slowly changes your belief system about yourself. So the further away you're trying to get from where you're currently at, the harder it can be for those to make a difference. It's basically like, you're in a boat and there's a massive hole in the boat, and, an affirmation is like a little shot glass, and you're just like, I'm going to keep this boat afloat by doing this. You're not going to keep your boat afloat. Your boat is going to sink because you believe your boat is sinking because there's a ton of water in the boat and more's coming in, and you've got this little tiny bloop, bloop. It's not going to do anything. Your boat's going to be on the bottom of the lake. All right? You're going to get wet. You're going to have to swim. That's what's going to happen if you try to change these massive, deeply held underlying beliefs with something superficial, like that's more surface level, like scripting, affirming, and visualizing. So great for incremental changes, not great for when you're trying to save the boat, because you're trying to make this huge step into the next thing, right? And you can't, because all you've got are these little tiny tools, and you're trying to get the water out of the boat. But the water ain't getting out of the boat with these little tiny tools. So what do? Well, there's more extensive ways of doing your self-belief work. And one of my favorite ways of doing the self-belief work is through EFT tapping. EFT tapping is something that when I found it, it was almost nobody had heard of it ever. I feel like it's getting a little bit more momentum. I think a couple more people are talking about it than they used to. But it's still kind of an unknown thing. For me personally, I have used EFT tapping to completely change my life. And it's not like I do it on a daily basis or anything. I do it when I feel like I need it. It's a tool in my back pocket that when I need it to tackle something, I can pull this tool out of my tool belt and I can patch the boat. And it makes it way easier to change your beliefs when you've got this tool. I'm going to go over EFT tapping really quickly because I'll make a separate instructional video on EFT tapping that is not tied to this, so that way people can refer back to it when they just want to see the technique itself. But a very, very quick overview. You start with the karate chop point. Hiya! You tap there, right? Okay, and then you have the spot here. Boop, boop. Spot 1, spot 2, spot 3. So you just kind of go around the orbital bone. 1, 2, 3. And then here, and then here, and then here, and then you go over here, you tap, 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 and then you go to the top of your head, and you tap, 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 tap. You just tap them, pat, pat, pat. And you can spread your fingers out. Like, don't feel like you have to. It's not an exact science, right? These are, what you're basically doing is you're tapping on the energy meridians that flow through your body. So, and what that will do is it's really good for taking stagnant energy and moving it on through your system, getting it out. And then once you get that energy out of your system, then you can start to program in new things and new ways of beliefs that you actually want to feel and believe. But you have to clean out the old garbage first, because if you don't clean out the old garbage, then you just kind of like spraying some smell goody stuff on a pile of garbage. It's not really going to do anything. You have to really clean your house and have it smell good for the long term, right? You got to get rid of the garbage. You got to shovel that out, throw it away. And it's the same thing you're going to do with your energy. So you EFT tap through the problem, and then you EFT tap in what you want. Going through the problem, it can take anywhere from 5 minutes to, I have tapped for like an hour before. And sometimes it takes you places you don't expect, right? And you got to keep going, and you got to keep tapping through it. But eventually you will find that click where you're on to the next point, and you can feel it. You will literally feel it shift within your system when that garbage is finally out, and you can start cleaning and putting in the new thing that you want in your belief system, right? Okay, so there's a couple different ways that people EFT tap. The most popular one that I've seen is with the tapping script. Basically, you say, even though I have this problem, and you go in detail about that, I completely accept and love myself. And you say some sort of blanket statement, which just kind of sets the tone while you're doing the karate chop point. And then you just focus on what you want to focus on, the problem. And you can do it that way. But I have found another way that is incredibly useful is to just intuitively EFT tap. You don't go into it with like a script. I mean, I'll still sometimes, set the stage for what I'm wanting to address when I'm doing the karate chop point, but then I just kind of like see where it takes me. Like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling like I can't make this video. What is wrong with me? Why can't I make this stupid video? This is just a video, and I want to do it, so why am I holding myself back? What's going on? Why can't I just say the words? Why can't I make the words come out of my mouth? What's wrong with me? Why do I keep getting trapped in my head? Right? You see the point? This is, maybe not a traditional script, but then I'll follow that, and I'll just keep going until you get to a spot that you may not expect. Like, I've had things start out with like, a problem that I'm having with a person that I'm interested in dating, and then as I'm tapping through it, all of a sudden I'll be taken back to some memory in my childhood will just pop up, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot about that. And like, then I work through the feelings that I had there with that. And a lot of the times, not always, but a lot of the times, EFT tapping on stuff like that will make you ugly cry. It makes me ugly cry. I have to get my tissues, and I sob, and I'm hysterical. But if you do, don't fight it, because it's a release, right? And the other thing I would recommend is that if you're doing intuitive tapping in particular, you want to make sure that you don't, you want to make sure you have enough time to process it. Do it when you're by yourself and you're going to be able to be alone for a little while, and that you don't have anything super pressing or serious immediately after, because when you have a big shift in your energy, it can like drain you. Like, it can take time. You may be tired, you may be super thirsty, you may be hungry, you may be irritable, you may feel euphoric. There's so many different ways that you can feel once you release an energetic block. So you want to make sure that you've allotted an amount of time to allow those feelings to process. So I would recommend doing it, in the evening, maybe before bed, when you really don't have anything pressing and you can just kind of do what you gotta do for yourself, to take care of yourself and your own belief system. Once you do this and you make it to where this is a belief that you can hold within yourself, you may need a couple of additional, EFT tapping sessions just to really set it in. But you'll find that the affirmations, the visualizations, the scripting, all of that is going to have way more of a difference, because you have shoveled out that old crappy belief system that you no longer want. You've gotten rid of it. And so now you've got this new one in, and basically every time you're going in and you're doing your affirmations, you're doing your visualization and your scripting, or however you like to reaffirm for yourself, visualization board, whatever, every time you're doing that, rather than like spritzing some smelly spray on garbage, you're like watering a little plant that has been planted, and it's like, oh, little seed grow. That's what you're doing. So you'll see then that the seed will sprout and it will grow much easier, and it won't be caked in garbage, right? Because you got that garbage out of there. So it's going to be healthier. It's going to flourish, and you're going to be able to manifest things way easier. Way easier. So if you had fun, feel free, again, hit the like button. You can cuddle up with the subscribe button if you want. If you want to, you can tickle the ding-a-link, the bell icon. If you really want me to show up on your phone every time I put something out, that's how to do it. I'll leave that up to you and your discretion. So, goodbye.